Is Blake Snell back? Let's talk about it next on Fantasy Baseball Today in 5. Welcome into FBT in 5. As always, make sure to follow and stream us on Spotify. Today is Thursday, August 26th. I am Frank Stanfield, joined by Scott White. And Blake Snell goes 7 2/3, 3 hits, 1 run, 10 strikeouts to 0 walks against the Los Angeles Dodgers. And his night actually would have been even better if Jace Tingler didn't leave him out there too long going into the 8th inning. Last 5 starts for Snell. He's got a 2.16 ERA. Scott, is he back?
You mentioned the 2.16 ERA, 0.98 whip, 13.3 K per 9, 15.3 swinging strike rate. These are all great numbers for Blake Snell here in the last 5 starts, all encompassing the month of August. And what's most encouraging about them is that there is a change he's made in terms of pitch selection. Really just going fastball slider now, slider being his best pitch. Really big on to fade the curveball, and especially the changeup, to the point he's hardly throwing the changeup at all. The changeup has been by far his worst pitch this year, according to BrooksBaseball.net, giving up a 429 batting average on the changeup and a 595 slugging percentage. So, he's made the decision to do more of what he does well and do less of what he does poorly, and it's seeing big results. And we know Blake Snell has good stuff. I'm encouraged. I can't say for sure that he's back, but this does appear to be a step in the right direction.
Would you start him next week at home against the Astros and at the Diamondbacks?
Yeah, for the 2 matchups, he just shut down the Dodgers, so I'm not even that scared of the Astros one.
Nice. Let's talk about Edward Cabrera's debut, one of the top pitching prospects in baseball. He's on the Miami Marlins, goes 6 1/3, 3 runs, only had 2 strikeouts in this start. He's 32% rostered, and it looks like if he remains in the rotation, he could be in line for 2 starts next week, up against the Phillies and at the New York Mets. Scott, what did you see from Cabrera, and would you be comfortable using him in those matchups?
If you could guarantee me he'd make both of those starts, I could maybe get on board with starting him. But with Trevor Rogers soon to return, there's no guarantee of that. Cabrera looked in control for the first 5 innings. He hadn't walked anybody yet. His pitch count was really low, and yet he wasn't doing the one thing that we expect him to do a lot of, is miss bats. In fact, on the 78 pitches he threw for the day, he only had 4 swinging strikes. Ended up, of course, walking 3, and also allowed 2 home runs. So yeah, I don't know that there's not many positives to take away from this. He made it 6 1/3 innings. He didn't throw many pitches. That's good. He showed he could get a lot of ground balls. That's good with that sinking fastball. But I'm still not convinced he's ready and worth starting in fantasy just yet.
All right, so let's pump the brakes on Edward Cabrera, specifically in redraft leagues. If you have him in Dynasty or Keeper, you should be very excited about Edward Cabrera there. We have a bunch of potential wide receivers. We're getting close to football here. Waiver wire hitters. And let's talk about 2 Rockies in particular. Brendan Rodgers went 3 for 6 with his 10th home run. He's 52% rostered. And Connor Joe went 2 for 4 with his 8th home run. He's 20% rostered. Where do these 2 Rockies need to be added, Scott?
I think Rodgers needs to be added just about everywhere. It amazes me that his roster rate is still as low as it is. 8 of his 10 home runs have come on the road, which means he hasn't even really taken advantage of Coors Field yet. His road numbers are better. His strikeout rate is around 20%. It's good, and yet he doesn't have this enormous BABIP that you'd expect a player who plays half his games at Coors Field to have. So, he's been solid so far, Rodgers, and once he starts taking advantage of Coors Field, it could blow up. Connor Joe is an on-base machine. He was in the minors as well. He's been doing it since he entered the lineup. I do wonder if the Rockies will be able to keep him in the lineup when Raimel Tapia returns. It would mean starting not such a great center fielder. That's normally not a good plan at Coors Field with the big outfield, but Joe may be worth it. So yeah, wait and see if he sticks around. before saying for sure that he's somebody you want on your team rest of season, but he's looking really good.
For more extensive fantasy baseball coverage, listen to the Fantasy Baseball Today podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, your smart speakers, or anywhere else podcasts are found. And thanks for listening to Fantasy Baseball Today in 5. If you enjoyed the pod, please leave a 5-star review on Apple. We'll be back again tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.